Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to introduce himself before we start our session? Raise your hand, please.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Good morning. C'est Dr Hayat Sami, chef de département coopération à la mairie de Rabat, Royaume du Maroc. Hello?
Yes, hello. Unfortunately, I don't know French, and now I will I will put in my action plan to start to know French.
Maybe I will try to speak English.
Very good, thank you.
Even I'm more comfortable in French, but I can speak English.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Hayat Sami, head of International Cooperation Department in the City Council of Rabat, Kingdom of Morocco.
All right.
And it means essentially we don't work with the business etiquette because we're doing especially administration. I can understand with this all the approach and some utilities to have the contact with the client and to avoid the municipality.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome to the program. Okay, we'll take last one, Wafa. Wafa,
yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Nour. My name is Wafa Al-Garah, and I'm a professor of Management Information Systems at Al Akhawain University in the Kingdom of Morocco. Actually, etiquette for me, business etiquette should be a mandatory course in every business school.
Well, that means more business for me.
Yes, that's right, exactly. Yeah. We should clone you, and we should have more of that course. Has to be mandatory because it shows how we should behave, our body language, you know, how we should present ourselves in business settings, and of course, le savoir-être. Basically, that's what business etiquette is all about, and I'm sure I'm looking forward to learning more about it from an expert like yourself. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I wish that we have more time to get to know each other more. However, let us try to start the presentation, and then we'll have the Q&A session at the end. Thank you for everyone who introduced himself, and for the rest, if you want to write on the chat, if you want to write a brief introduction in the chat, so we can later on take a look at them. So basically, we are going to cover some aspects of how we are interacting in several business interaction. So we are going to start from addressing what is business etiquette, why do we need business etiquette, and the cost of basically not doing the proper or not working with the guidelines. Also, we are going to look at the meeting and greeting, how we do handshake, well, before the COVID and now after the COVID, how we are going to manage handshake, how do we introduce ourselves and introduce others, how do we exchange business card, and how now it's different in the age of COVID-19, and conversation etiquette, what should we talk about and what we shouldn't be talking about when we are in a networking event, invitation etiquette, some tips and tricks on the dress code, the different type of dress code, the sitting and standing posture to reflect a positive image, especially if you are giving a presentation or you are in an interview, elevator and stairs etiquette, doors etiquette, virtual meeting etiquette, email, social media, and dining etiquette. There are so much, there are more than this. However, we're trying to focus in this hour and a half on a summary of the different type of etiquettes that we need to follow. And also at the end of the presentation, I've shared some of the books from where I took my material, and I encourage you to start to read more about this, because as far as I know, we have over 2,000 guidelines when it comes to etiquette, and they keep, like, as we are going to see, as a result of the COVID-19, we started to have some different guidelines when we interact with each other. So let's look at the definition of etiquette. According to the dictionary, if you search etiquette on Google, you will find different type of definition. However, this is the one which says it's a set of rules that helps people understand how they should behave in a particular business or professional situation. Now, I really like this quote by Emily Post. Emily Post is the etiquette expert. She started this in 1922, and I took a lot of her material into this presentation. I want you to pay attention to this quote. Manners are a sensitive awareness of the feelings of others. If you have that awareness, you have a good manners, no matter what fork you use. So basically, when we look at the business etiquette, yes, there are some guidelines that will help us to project a positive image and present ourselves in a way that get everyone else around us to think about us as professional. However, rules or guidelines, when it comes to dealing with people, they are not rigid. So we have to think about the person that we are interacting with, the culture, the geographical location, the time, the seniority, the people, everything, because those guidelines were in the first place, they were put to help us to conduct ourselves in a way to project a positive image, to help us have this good relationship with others. So what we need to do is you have to think, yes, there are some guidelines. However, you need to take into consideration the culture, the people you're dealing with, and so on. Now, I want to ask you, why do you think we care about that we need to project a positive image? Can raise your hand if you want to participate. Why do you think we need to have a positive image? How this will reflect on me and the organization that I am presenting? Linda, please go ahead, Linda.
Thank you, Dr. Nour. And I think this is important because of the respect of the office that you hold and also of the people that you engage with. So for those two reasons, it's important to uphold business etiquette principles. So to repeat, because you respect the office that you hold, and also it's the respect for others and also respect for self.
Very good. Well, respect is important. Now, let me ask you this question again. How a positive image will reflect on me when it comes to promotion? I'm trying now to give you some keywords. Having a positive image and dealing with everyone with respect and courtesy and good manners. Does this will reflect on, okay, Linda, go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Nour, I think it will reflect definitely positively on me, and therefore will give a good image about me, and therefore people would respect me better. and will impact also on my success, I think.
Of course, it will. Thank you very much, Wafa, because Dr. Wafa said something important. Now, what we need to realize is when you project a positive image, people will perceive you as a professional person. So when we start to look at who do we need to promote in our organization, or who should represent our organization in a conference, for example, or if we are forming a committee that will deal with an important issue. Now, you've already taken the personal branding. So what happens is if you consistently project a positive image and you show that you have the respect, you know how to deal with others, and you have this self-confidence. Now, on the top of the mind of a senior executive, when they need to choose someone to promote, to basically represent a company in a conference, take that training, and working with a challenging client. So at the end, it really reflects on you. And especially if you are hoping to be promoted to a leadership position, it is one of the basics that we need to follow the guidelines that will help us to have this particular positive image. So when you use the etiquette, it can lead to increased credibility, new clientele, better promotion, support, and cooperation from others. Because if you are known for, if your brand is reflecting a person who is competent, are able to manage themselves well with their colleagues as well as with the clients, you have a better, higher chance of getting that promotion, getting new clients, and also get the support from other people around you. So what do you think? Also, there is a cost of poor etiquette. I came across this survey which shows that what happens after poor customer service. If you are interacting with someone and you did not follow basic manners and stuff, so basically 50% they will never use your company again, and that's the big percentage. Imagine clients, they no longer are interested in your business and they leave. 25% will recommend and tell friends not to use your business. That's a big loss. That's a quite big percentage. 20% they will most likely revenge by posting reviews online. And of course, you know, now any one of you who wants to buy anything, find anything about anyone, they Google it and they check for reviews, whether on Facebook or on Google. 14% they will share their experience on social media. So basically, now in the age of the social media, we're really exposed to a bigger repetition risk if you fail to do the basics of the proper business etiquette. And also here is a quote that I would like you to know. Good manners are cost effective. They increase quality of life in the workplace. They contribute to the optimum employee morals. They improve the company image and hence play a major role in generating profit. On the other hand, the negative behavior, whether based on selfishness, carelessness, ignorance, can cost a person a promotion, even a chance to get a job. A company becomes a company you want to do business with because of the people who work in there. So business etiquette has a very definite relationship to the bottom line. So again, it's yes, you respect yourself, you respect the company, you respect others. However, this also has an impact about the company profit. You've seen from the previous slide how you have a chance that if you do not conduct yourself in a professional manner, you have a big chance of losing customers. Losing customers means losing business as well, and it will wreck your reputation, especially now everybody is online. Politeness and consideration for others is like investing a pennies and getting a dollar back. I want you to think about this and keep it in mind every time you're interacting with someone. Now, the first impression is very important. In the first few seconds, if you're going to a job interview, we have some positions are required in order to get promoted to have an interview. So in the first few seconds, when you walk into the room, by the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you sit, your facial expression, what you say and how you say it, how you conduct yourself. In the first few seconds, if you ask any HR manager, researchers said that in the first from 10 to 20 seconds, people are forming an impression about you. So it's all up to you whether to get this impression, the impression of a competent person, a person who deserves the promotion, a person who deserves my business, and show your leadership. So I would like to share with you this element of personal communication. Our understanding of any message rely only 7% on spoken words, 38% on voice and tone, and 55% on body language. So from this survey, as you can see here, that it's not about only what you say, it's also how you say. Body language contribute a lot to the meaning. And you might say something, but you use different body language, and the meaning is completely different. I will give you a simple example. Now, if for example, allow me, Dr. Wafa, to use your name as an example. If Dr. Wafa comes in late to the session, and then I said, good morning, Dr. Wafa, right? So what did I do? Is I said, good morning, right? And I smiled, and I used my hand as a welcome gesture. So, Dr. Wafa, what did you understand now? You came in late, so I said, good morning, Dr. Wafa. So, what type of impression you got now?
Well, it's a positive impression, inviting impression.
Exactly. Why do you think it's a positive impression?
Because of the smile and the hand, you know, the hand gesture that tells me, come in, kind of.
Come in. So, tell me now, I will give you another situation. And now you came into the room late. So what happens is I looked at my watch and said, good morning, Dr. Wafa.
Yeah.
So what type of impression you got now?
Yeah, it's an impression. It's an awkward impression. That means I am late and you're making me know that I'm late. So I'm not welcome.
Exactly.
That's what I feel.
Did I say different words in the two scenarios?
No, but the way that you looked at your watch, that means, yes, you're not on time. That tells a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So the first situation, I said, good morning. Can you please notice the vocal? Good morning. Yeah. And then I smiled, right? Mm-hmm. And I used my hands to project that it's okay, right? And then on the second scenario, I said, good morning. Did you see the vocal, my voice, my facial expression, and what I've done with my gesture and so on. So in both scenarios, I said exactly the same words. What was different? The body language. So this is something we need to also take a look into and take into consideration when we are dealing with other people. I'm not sure whether, I think you are going to take a communication course. If not, what I suggest that you please read a lot on the different body language, and then we'll show you some of them here that will make an impact when you go and introduce yourself to someone and try to make this positive first impression. Now, when you introduce yourself to someone, you have to state your first name and your last name. And also, depending on the situation, you have to say your position in the company. So we would say, hello, I'm Jacqueline Smith, I'm the quality control officer. Now, when the other person give you their names, what you need to do is repeat that name as part of the acknowledgement. So it means that I am acknowledging the person, as well as it's a way for me to remember names, because all of us, we like our names. We are proud of our titles. So this is something important. Now, addressing people in the right way and the right title that they like to be addressed to, it will definitely help to build that rapport and establish a good professional business as well. So you acknowledge the name. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Andrews, or it's nice to meet. It is pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you, and it's great to meet you again, and so on. So basically, when you introduce yourself, first name, your last name, and your title. And when you introduce yourself, I want you to look at the slide. You look at the person's eyes. You have a neutral posture. You smile, and you say your name. And if you were sitting, you have to stand. Why do you need to stand? Because when you stand, you show people respect. You acknowledge their presence. They think that they are important. So this is something that we need. Of course, now because of the COVID-19, we're not doing the handshake now. I will show you different alternatives. Now, there are things that when we meet someone for the first time, the body language, we really need to pay attention to those body language. Now, for example, can you see the cursor here? Now, this one here. This one here, can you see the one I made the circle on? Now, what kind of impression you get if you meet someone for the first time and you find that they have their hand around the waist like this? Can somebody tell me what kind of impression that they will get? Raise your hand if you want to answer so we can unmute you. Excuse me if I mispronounce your name. It's Aliki. Aliki? Go ahead. Go ahead, Aliki.
She seems has something in her mic. We can take Gambari after her.
All right.
Gambari.
No, actually, Dr. Yohani, I think we will allow her because she raised her hand.
Hello.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Nour. It might seem as if you are flirting or you are bringing attention to your body or to how you look.
Exactly. So do you think if you are going in a in a business networking event, putting your hand around your waist and this way, this will generate a positive image? Of course not. And actually, in some other culture, it reflects as we have in one of the participants have in the chat, it's a sign of arrogance, right? Or an intimidating body language. Okay. Okay, what about this one? What type of image you will get? Gambini, I think. Go ahead. Or Hasna, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Dr. Nour. She seems to be not confident in herself.
Yeah, exactly. She is not confident. Exactly. Now, yeah. What type of impression I'm getting? Like if I'm going to a customer, or if I want to, if I'm going to an interview, so I look my hands that particular way, it basically shows that I am afraid, I'm not confident, I am shy, and so on. And of course, you don't want to present yourself as a shy person when you go to that meeting. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
What about that?
Hello.
Yes. What about this one?
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead. What about?
Is still on the lady?
No.
Yes, she looks timid and afraid.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What about the man who has
for
his
him
hand inside his pocket?
It shows he's
He is
arrogant.
No.
He's composed. Yes, he looks.
Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. So the man who has his hand in his pocket, basically, it gives a message that I am hiding something. So basically, that it's not a good sign. Okay. What about crossing your arms like this? What type of impression you will get?
Professional. Hello, I'm professional. Hello.
Exactly. So, Alu, can you please tell me what this poster is telling you when you cross your arm like this when you're meeting someone in the first place?
He's unprofessional. He looks unprofessional. He looks I see a sign of reluctantness in him.
Exactly, that's the word. So when you cross your arm like this, it's like I don't want anyone to talk to me. I'm reluctant, I'm closed. And then again, those are some samples of the body language when we use basically project that negative and negative impression. Now, the handshake before COVID-19, basically, as I said, when you introduce yourself, you go to the person, you stand, you smile, you have a neutral facial expression, you extend your hand, and then you slide your hand into the other person's hand, and then you basically shake it up and down just 2 times, right? This is before COVID era. There are things that we shouldn't be doing when we shake our hands. Here, the first example. This one is basically an intimidating one, and it tells a message that I am superior to you. This one I don't recommend. It's like, you know, you crush someone's hand, and then it's not a sign. It could reflect a sign of nervousness or overpower, right? and then don't shake the hand, and you have the other hand in the pocket. It also gives an impression as if you are hiding something. Or here, don't do this one. It's like, you know, you need to greet, you want to greet someone like this. It's like you want to give them your hand to kiss it. So it's not the proper one to use at all. Now, here are some of the new handshake in the area of COVID. You can choose the one, and again, mind the culture. For me, the one I found that so far is working for me when I meet people, it's that one. The hand across the chest. Now, anyone can tell me if any of these would contradict with their culture, or it's not, you cannot use it, because this is something general. Does any of this contradict with your culture? There is the hand wave, or the foot shake, or the hand across the chest, elbow pump, or head bow, or name it. So anyone would like to say anything about these? What do you normally use? Raise your hand if you want to participate. Hasna, go ahead, Hasna.
I normally use the distancing. That's the hand wave.
The hand wave is the one that really works for you.
Yes.
This is in Morocco, right?
Yes.
Adna, can you please?
I used all of them except the foot shake, which is not allowed in our culture.
The foot shake, where are you from?
I'm from Kenya and Kalenjin.
So here we go. This is an important thing that I want you to take into consideration, especially if you are going to travel to another country. You're going to have to make sure that whatever you do is acceptable in the country you are traveling to, right? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would it be stated vividly that this is the way of greeting?
This is a new way of greeting in COVID-19, because now in COVID-19, basically you have to keep the distance, and the distance at least 1 meter, sometimes it's 2 meters apart. It depends. So basically, what I do, because there are some people who still getting used to the old way of an handshake. So when I see they're coming, I give them some time to basically tell them, hi, how are you today, and stuff like this. So I do the hand across the chest, and I say my greetings, introduce myself. This way I tell them that is because of the COVID that I don't want to shake hands. What if somebody came to you now in the COVID and then they shake your hand and you are not comfortable with this? What you need to do, don't show them that you're upset, or don't get your alcohol and sanitize your hand in front of them. This will actually be a little bit awkward. So what you do, if somebody shakes your hand now and then you want to sanitize your hand, what you need to do, go to the bathroom, go somewhere where they cannot see you, and then sanitize your hand. Because you don't want to make people to feel uncomfortable, or everyone can make mistakes and we forget, because we tend to basically, it's a force of habit that you see someone and you, when you introduce yourself, you handshake them. And again, as I'd like to highlight this over and over again, mind the culture, mind the culture, mind the culture. Now, we want now to take a look how you introduce others. Now, when you introduce someone, basically, it's based on the ranking. It's not based on the age or the gender. We are talking about the business etiquette, not the daily social interaction. We will take a look at the social interaction in a later slide. But if you are in a business situation, what you need to do is think about the hierarchy, the pyramids of authority. So what you do when you introduce someone, you introduce the person that is of a lesser authority to the person of a greater authority. You introduce a junior executive to a senior executive. And this is how you do it. For example, good morning, Ms. Dole. I'd like to introduce to you. So mind this word, because it might, when you are in a business networking event and you have a lot of people around you, you might get confused. So you look at the person who is the higher authority and you tell them, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Hopkins from our accounting department. And then you say, Ms. Dole is our new Vice President of Public Relations. So, let me try to see if we can do one simulation here. For example, Hasna, would you be the president, the new president in the company? And Amanda would be the new IT director. And who else would like to participate in this simulation? Hasna, Amanda, and I need a third person. All right, Wafa. All right, so Wafa, you are the PR, the public relation executive, and then we have Dr. Hasna is the president, so she is the higher authority. Wafa, you are the PR person who wants to introduce Amanda. Amanda, she joined our company recently as the head of the digital transformation. So how you are going to do this, Wafa?
Okay, I'm going to say
Take a look at the sequence.
Yes.
Now,
can you hear me?
Hold on, Dr. Wafa. Now, Hasna, you are the president, right?
Yes, doctor.
You are the president now. And now,
Yes.
Amanda, you are the new digital transformation person.
Okay.
Now, it's not often that you have the chance to meet the president or the CEO of the company, right?
Yes.
And what we need to do, is this is the time when it's impression. Now I want you to think about after Dr. Wafa introduce you, figure out a way to basically respond and leave this positive impression.
Okay.
And also, Mr. President has not, Mrs. President has not, Mrs. CEO, what you need to do also, you are in a leadership position. And then you have someone new who's coming on board. You need to leave this also a positive impression of yourself as the leading CEO who can inspire, motivate, and communicate. So do we know now our roles? So Dr. Wafa, what is your role, Dr. Wafa?
I'm the PR person. who's in making the introductions.
All right. All right. So we'll figure out who is who now. You know who is the,
Okay.
the CEO?
All right. Good afternoon, President Hasna.
Hold on, Wafa. So you know now who's the CEO, right?
Yes, it's
All right.
Miss Hasna is the CEO.
Miss Hasna, the CEO. You know what you are going to do now? What the new person is introduced to you? Miss Hasna.
Yeah.
You know now.
I'm listening.
You know now that the new person, when they are introduced to you, what your role will be, right? Acknowledge
Yes, ma'am.
person and give an impression that you are a true leader, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Amanda.
Yes.
You might not have the chance again to meet Mrs. President. And you need to leave this positive impression.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1. Dr. Wafa.
Good afternoon, Miss Hasna. I'd like to introduce to you Miss Amanda, our new Digital Transformation Director. Mrs. Hasna, she's our president of the company.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all on board this wonderful company. I pray all of us will collaborate, form a credible team, work together as a team, and I'm welcoming you all to this great company. Thank you very much.
Amanda, what will your response will be?
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to meet you. I'll be grateful to work with you, and I know I will deliver. Thank you so much.
All right. What was missing here? What was missing in Hasna introduction?
She didn't then acknowledge my presence to the president.
She didn't repeat the name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as well as this is what Amanda did. Amanda also acknowledged the name as well. Now, well, Hasna was perfect, except that you needed to repeat the person name. And Amanda, yes, you said thank you. And then, for example, as you said, the meaning of that you're proud and happy and looking forward to start. You also need to seize this opportunity, say something about your way forward.
Yeah.
How you are going to implement, and probably ask for another meeting to basically showcase your ideas and know-how, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
So this is my point.
Perfect.
Yes, you address people in their name and you do, but again, Hasna as the CEO, you need to feel, you need to show that the other person is welcomed and you ease that communication. Show your communication style as a leader. And Amanda, take the advantage that you are meeting the CEO of the company, the highest authority, and raise your profile, show yourself, who you are, what you are going to do for the company, right?
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so you basically seized any business networking event to basically do the raising of your profile, show that you a professional, competent person, right?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. So basically, basically back to the introduction. Again, it's not about the age or the gender. In business, basically look at the pyramids of authority. You introduce the person of lesser authority to the highest, the junior executive to a senior executive. So that's one. And also take a look at the want you to show you the rest of the introduction. Introduce an executive in your company to a customer or a client. So basically, when you have a customer or a client, in this case, they become the highest. So in this case, customer comes first. So the customer, we look at customer as they are the highest greater authority. So for example, Ms. Hill, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Dolan, director of our special events at our New York office. Ms. Hill, our client from Seattle. Now, you introduce a peer in your company to a peer in another company. Okay. So basically, like I want you to think about when you receive someone at your home, right? When you receive someone at your home, you try to give them a courtesy. So basically, who should have the higher rank here? The peer in the other company. So for example, Tom Smith, I would like to introduce Aaron Marks, my colleague. John is an office manager in Hughes Development. So the person is highest in this situation, the person who is coming from outside. Now you also introduce an unofficial person to an official person. Say one of the following, may I present, or may I present to you, or may I introduce, or may I introduce to you. Mr. President, may I present or introduce to you Ms. Hall, the new communication, the new communication manager, and so on. Response, Mr. President, it's an honor to meet you. Mr. Ambassador, may I present to you Mr. Hopkins from the Capital Agency. His Excellency is the Ambassador of Japan. So this is some of the, like, for example, some names, they might not be familiar to us or a bit difficult to pronounce, which is okay. So what do we do in return? As you can see here in this example, you address them with their position. Mr. Ambassador, Your Excellency, right? So now, also, for example, if you're talking to a senator, Senator Price, may I introduce to you Ms. Jones, Vice President of Citizens Bank, right? So the senator, of course, say it's nice to meet you as well. So basically, you introduce the non-official person to the official person. Now, what happens in a social situation? In social situation, man isn't introduced to a woman. For example, if you're on a wedding, unless the man is much older, in this case, age rule over gender. Like, for example, if a lady, she's 16 years old and the man is 60, so in that case, then you do it the other way around. You introduce a younger person to an older person. Now, for a group introduction, basically you introduce one person and then ask the others to basically introduce themselves. I see Lisi, I think, sorry if I'm mispronounced the name. Can you please write down your question, because I want to get through the presentation. Write down your question and then we will go over all questions, because we have quite data that we need to go through, and we want to make sure that it is covered. And then also, so please write down your question in the chat so we can later on discuss. Now, business card. Before the COVID-19, and then when we had the chance to meet each other, I always recommend that you don't leave your home without a business card, and you don't hand your business card to everyone you know. Basically, when you are in a networking event, when you are walking around talking to people, You will identify who are the people that you want to generate a business relationship with. So just don't go and hand your business card to everyone there. Now, make sure that your business cards are clean and in a good conditions and has updated data. When you receive a business card, take a moment to take a look at it and show a respect and say something about the card. For example, you can make comment about the logo, the company name, the business location. Now, if you cannot find something to say, don't say anything, right? And if somebody hands you a business card and you don't want to receive it, don't refuse to take it. Just take it and put it in your bag. But don't say, no, I don't want your business card. This definitely leaves a bad image. When is the best time to hand in your business card? If someone asks you for a business card, or if someone asks you to repeat your name. So if someone asks you to repeat your name, what you can do is you hand out your business card, say, here is my business card, and my name and all my contact details is there. Now, the age of COVID, I would like you to see, this is something new. The UNDP actually started to use this. Basically, you scan the code, you don't have to touch. By the way, I want you to see how we are presenting. This is the most universal way of presenting business card. However, now because of the COVID, we are not doing this again now. So instead, like the brilliant idea that UNDP used is having all the contact details, and basically I've added a link here where you can check out how can you do this QR code that has all your digital information. There are some etiquette when it comes to COVID-19. Keep a distance. Amanda, please mute your mic. All right. You have to keep a distance. You have to wear the mask. If you cough, what you need to do is basically you have to cover. So you don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. You cover your nose or mouth. You bend your elbow or use a tissue if you're coughing or sneezing. If you have a fever or something, get in touch with the doctor. Stay home. If you feel unwell, you have to leave a distance. So you have to mind new rules of the COVID-19. If you are not aware of them, check. I like this quote. Women have to be a lot smarter and brighter and have to work a lot harder to prepare themselves. They have to watch what they do and how they do it and how they behave, right? Now, that will bring me to the topic of what are things that we should be talking about. Like if you are in a networking event, there are some subjects that we should address, and there are some subjects that we cannot talk about. For example, here, if you want to start up a conversation, you can choose an interesting topic from the newspaper or online. You can talk about any corporate social responsibility cause. You can talk about sports of a major interest like Olympic. But be careful when you talk about sports. Don't bring subject of controversial sports team, but rather talk about an amazing opening of the Olympic and new sports that coming in, women in sports. So don't basically ask which team that you are fan of. So if the person is cheering for Real Madrid and the other person is for Barcelona, and people might start to get into an easy situation talking about two different competing teams. You can discuss the real estate market, you can discuss the traffic, weather. These are some guidelines of some of the topics that you can't go wrong with. You can actually talk about an invention, provide a happy news, you talk about a play or cultural event in your area. Those are some of the samples of things that you can talk about. There are things which it's a no-no, and don't talk about. For example, don't ask the lady, how old are you? Are you married? Why you don't have kids until now? These are topics and things you shouldn't be talking about, especially with somebody you don't know. For example, oh, I like your coat. How much does it cost? Do you like anyone to talk to you about this? Of course not. Gossips, jokes. Be careful with jokes, because especially if you are an event where you have a diversity of a different culture, that definitely might trigger a bad situation. Don't talk about the breakup of a relation. Gossip about any of your colleagues. Don't talk too much about an illness or a surgery. Any depressing economic news. Don't pass judgment on other people. Look what she's wearing, what she's drinking, a funny hat, or this is a weird clothes. It's not. So don't pass any judgment about what other people wear. Or, of course, politics is a controversial matter. Like, don't talk about any controversial matters. You are in a business networking event, you want to seize this opportunity to generate additional client, to leave that positive image, to basically get noticed for future promotion. Don't talk about religion. This is something that is totally unacceptable. Respect people beliefs and respect their people faith, and don't judge anyone, everyone. You cannot address or talk about religion matter in any judgmental way. Now, when we look at okay, before I go to the next slide about the invitation, what I would like you to do is basically write in the chat. For example, if you're in your country, if there is something that it is not, we are not allowed to talk about something pertaining to your culture, we would like to take this opportunity, and because we have several leaders from different countries, we would like to know from you. Or give us a website that will help us to, when we travel to our country, what things that we shouldn't be talking about. Now, invitation, like this is, for example, the invitation, if we have, for example, our 40th anniversary, you say that we are cordially invited to attend a celebration. You specify the date, you specify the time, you specify the location, and also you give the dress code. And if you can highlight what time is for the networking and what time the dinner will be served, and you, of course, you have to put the RSVP, which number you should call in case you need to apologize. And if you get an invitation, you need to reply within maximum 48 hours. Now, if you normally invitations are personal. Well, if you need to bring other people with you in any event, what you need to do is call the person and tell them that if you can bring other people. So don't surprise your host with additional people that they don't have a space for. That's when it comes to presentation. Appearance is very important. Appearance and dress shows your basically reflect on your credibility, your attention to details, and then first impression continue to make a lasting impression. what I tried in this presentation is to give you some tips on the dress code, whether it's business, whether it's formal, whether it's a white tie, and so on. There are questions you need to ask yourself before you dress for any occasion. If this clothes fit me properly, is it too tight or too loose? If it's too loose, it gives the impression that you might not be fit for that position. I know it's not fair because we should be judged on our knowledge and know-how, experience, and education. I want you to ask you a question. If you go to a bookstore, you find a lot of books around you. Why do you take a decision to go to a particular shelf and take a particular book? Who can answer this question for me? If you going to a bookstore, you have lots of different books, and then what makes you decide that you will take this particular book and start to basically know more information? Can someone answer this? Raise your hand. All right. I'm trying to see who raised their hands. The first person, can you please, because I can't see who raised their hand. Okay. Linda? Linda. Go ahead, Linda.
Thank you very much. The first thing that draws me to a book, of course, it's the subject area of interest, but also it's the title and the cover of the book.
Yes, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So the cover. So basically, that's it. What comes to our attention if you are in a business networking event or you're doing an interview, what will capture your attention in the beginning before you talk to someone and find out more? So it's the cover, how the book will look like. And then you start to take this particular book and you start to read. If you find it's in your area of interest, then you will continue to read. And that's it in life. So basically the first impression I get, it basically trigger whether I should continue to know or learn from you. I got a note here that we have to give a break and we'll come back again. Dr. Hanan, we'll do a break and we'll come back. We'll come back again, right? Okay, because I got a note that you need a break. How long? 5 minutes? 5 minutes? So ladies, we'll have a 5-minute break. So take your coffee, wash your face, and get ready for the dress code. Thank you very much. We'll see you after 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nour.
Hello, everyone. Are you back? Do you have your coffee with you? Are we back? Linda? Hello, everyone. Are we back to the session? Please confirm.
Yes, we are back.
Very good. Edna, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
How is the material so far?
It is very fantastic. I'm learning a lot.
All right, very good. We will have a chance to meet after the session later on. We can schedule some further discussion because I know a lot of you have questions, and I'm very interested to get to know more about you and actually exchange, get this opportunity to exchange culture, perspective, and so on. Right?
Yes.
So back to our workshop. Now, when you start, if you're going to an event, what we need to do is basically see if this clothes fit you properly. Make sure that look at your accessory bag, the shoes, the clothing. Does it have any defect or outdated? Am I dressed appropriately for my position and responsibility? If you are in a leadership position, you have to reflect by the way you dress, reflect this authority, reflect that basically your leadership. Make sure you don't wear sneakers, tank top, t-shirts, or any revealing or tight clothes, because actually in some culture this basically give the wrong impression. It's an advice that dress as you are holding a position higher than where you're actually is. If you want to be a minister, dress like a minister. That's my advice to everyone. So, and actually, if you don't know the dress code, you happen to have to go to an occasion, what you need to dressing up is a lot better than dressing down. So that's some of the key advices. Now, we have the business professional and business casual. As you can see here, you can wear suits, and what you need to do is basically, I will give you some. Suit can be black, blue, gray, dark green, beige, brown, or white. However, the most common one, and you need to basically get either the black, which is very formal, and then you have the navy or the dark blue and the gray. Those are the main three colors which you need to focus on. Fabric can be wool, gabardine, cotton, silk, and they should not be any shiny material. Skirt should be at least any length. You can have blouse, like here, for example, you can see those blouse. You have to get at least pastel or the white one. Is it a simple round neckline? Don't get V-neck. Sometimes it might be revealing, and this is not something that you want to wear in a professional business event. Shoes has to be clean, polished, closed toe and closed heels. And then you have to wear low heels. You can't have more than 4-inch heels. Basically, your pantyhose should have the same shade or lighter than your shoes, and you have to keep an extra pair handy in case something happens. Handbag, briefcase, try to get the smallest functional size. Now, the handbag should match your belt, your shoes, and your watch band. And if they are all leather, but for the watch, we can actually get the metal one as well. less is more when it comes to makeup, jewelry, perfume, and so on. Basically, most business people, they don't appreciate the trends like piercing or tattoos and so on. Follow the rule of 13. Rule of 13 means that you have to wear maximum of 13 accessories. So like for 13, like for my case here, glasses is one, a ring, and we have to have only one ring in each hand. I prefer actually to have just one, because you need people to focus on what you say. Don't have a lot of distraction. So you have to count, and then glasses, earring, the other earring, the necklace, the watch, the button, the ring, and bracelet, and so on. So basically, your accessories really should match overall. So if your bag has a silver accessories, then all accessories should be in silver, and so on. If your belt, has an accessory that is in silver, then everything else should be. Well, the eyeglasses should be conservative. Don't try to make a fashion statement. The more conservative, the more simple, the more you are professional. Hair color should be neutral. Style is easy to maintain. Hair length preferable to the shoulder length. Nail polish should be natural look. Very simple makeup. Be careful of the eyes and lipstick, because those are the most recognized ones. I'm going to show you here some example. If you are wearing a veil, your veil should match your basic color of your suit. Take a look here. I'm showing you some of the airlines, how they are dressed. By the way, you know why they dressed in uniforms? Uniforms reflects that this airline has a system, even in the way that people dress. So you will have a copy of this presentation, and then you can take a look at it later on. And if you have several questions, I promise you we will meet again, and then we can further discuss. Take a look at the color coordination. Well, red is one of the awkward color because not in every business situation. However, I was just showing you some of the examples here. Now, again, if you are a veiled woman, take a look at this example, and then your hat or your veil should match your suit. And this is an example. Take a look at this one here, mixing colors of here. Look at this, mixing the color of the white and the green, the overall coat and the white hat, and the dress, which has both color, green and the white. Different colors means different things, and I have for you here the link of the different colors meaning. Red is energy, and then you can wear it in a special occasion. Purple is loyalty, royalty. Orange is youth, freedom. Here are the different. When you go to the link, it will give you additional note of what each of the colors represent. For the men, the suit, and again, there is a difference between the business professional and the business casual. The same colors apply, which is the black, very formal, dark gray, navy. Fabric should be wool. It could have also some cashmere. The proper length of the tie should be reaches the tip of the top of the belt. A belt should match the shoes and the hand or the briefcase. And watch band. Solid color shirts is ideally, and with French cuff and wearing with cuff link. The socks should be same color as the suit. Shoes should be leather, preferably black, and it should have the lace up shoes. The reason I'm giving you also the man dress code is, you know, that we in our jobs we manage staff that has both gender, and then I want to have basic guideline of the dress code both for women and men. So in order for you to give those information to the team that you manage. I have here the different type of dress code. So they have the business formal, which we've discussed, also the business casual. So when it comes to business casual, don't wear sneakers, don't wear jeans that's torn out, don't wear the hoodies, don't wear things that make you look unprofessional. And we looked at some examples here of the business casual for men here on the left side of your screen. Shirt and a pant without the tie. And here also for the women, we gave the example here on the left side. As you can see here is the shirt and the pant, or a nice sweater. Now, you will have also some invitation. You might see a white tie. The white tie is for women. It's a formal floor length evening gown. For the men, they have the white vest, the white bow tie, the white gray gloves, and so on. I have here the link, the Emily Post website. It has all the attire guide for all different type of dress code. Here as an example of the white tie, and also have here the links for you to get more details. As you can see here, what we've described as floor length dress and the tuxedo here. You have also the black tie, which is a formal floor length evening gown. And for the men, there is no gloves when it comes to the black tie. You have you have to wear black, as you can see here in the black. You cannot go wrong with the black dress with a very simple accessory. Also the semi-formal dress code and so on. We've looked at the different dress code depending on the occasion, depending on what you have written in the invitation. How to sit properly, how to stand, how to take photos. I have this link for the video, which will be uploaded. It's just because we are running out of time and we have other lineup of speakers. So I agreed here with the administration is to upload. I have 2 videos I want to see, and it shows you how you stand, how you sit for any official photos, for if you are giving a presentation in a conference, or if you are going through an interview. Now, in and out of an elevator, you're going to have to stand on the right, on the left. You have to give us space for people to leave. One of the things when you go, if your floor at the end, what you do is you press the button of your floor and you go to the back. What you need also to take into consideration, please keep any discussion to a minimum when you are in the elevator. You don't know who is there. So don't gossip, don't talk about people, don't say anything that should not be known for, don't talk business or anything personal, because you'll never know who is there. Don't talk about any private or financial matters, and so on. Here in the COVID, you have the social distancing. as you can see on your right side, what you should do in elevator, and the other side on the left side, please don't. You need to be away from each other. And most of the elevators now, you will have stickers on the floor to show you how you stand. Escalators and stairs, as you can see here, you have to be ahead of your visitor. Why is that? You have to basically some sort of pave the way for them and make it clear. But what you need to do, you have to tell them. You tell them that I will go and make sure that guide you to the place that you, we are where we want to reach. Those are some guidelines that help us to basically make people feel that they are welcomed, and then you are there giving them the hospitality, the care, and so on. Although they might sound very simple, however, they are important in business situations. Now, here the escalator, make sure that you have the distance 6 feet, and then you stand on the right, and then you walk on the left. So when you are in an escalator, what you need to do is leave your left side free, so if anyone wants to pass. The doors etiquette, as you can see here, if it's a pull door, you open the door. Here you, the host, you open the door and get the visitor enters. If it's a push door, you go ahead of your visitor and make sure that you are clearing the road for them. So these are some of the basic guidelines. Now, virtual meeting etiquette, it is very important. Nowadays, we conduct our business through the online. What you need to ensure that, please face the light. Don't make the light in the back, because if the light is in the back, what happens? We cannot see your face. Make sure that don't come too close, like this, right? Or ensure the frame. See what I've done? This is completely wrong. Now people can't see your face. What you need to do is basically here. Here is the frame. People can see me, and in the background, you should have something related to what you do. Now, if you're working from home, what you need to do, specify an area, quiet area, where you can have a desk. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Don't go into any online interview or any online session basically without being prepared. Your light, your sound, the location, and so on. Email etiquette. We all nowadays get our emails through our mobile, right? So reading an email from mobile is a lot harder than reading from the screen or printing the email. So, and we are conducting our business through email. Here are some tips that I want you to be aware of. Now, emails, you can be liable and you could be taken to the court if you write in any offensive email, WhatsApp message, a Facebook message. So be aware of what you post or what you write in the email. Make sure that the most important information in the beginning of the email, especially if you're sending to a senior person. Because the same time that they're reading your email, they get WhatsApp message, they get a telephone, they get a visitor. So if you want the message to be read, and then don't lose the chance, don't write so many things. So in the beginning, write the most important information. Send copies to the person who is relevant. Don't send an email to everyone without specifying who should do what, by when, and how. Keep that in mind. Who should do what, when, and how. So keep that in mind. If the person does not respond, yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce the name. If somebody doesn't respond in 48 hours, call them, and then and so on. If the email goes beyond 2-3 replies, pick up the phone and ask for a meeting. Don't just reply to all, reply to the person that is relevant to you. Don't overuse the high priority, very important. Don't send a large attachment. Now, very important that avoid abbreviation. Don't write capital letters in that. That shows that you are angry. Write in a positive tone. Always check for spelling. Very, very, very important. I'll tell you, I came across this statistics that over 70% of HR managers, if they see an email with a spelling mistakes, they never open the attachment. Imagine losing an opportunity for an upgrade for your work, or getting a chance to win a contract with a client because you have a spelling mistake. Why are they so that picky? No, actually, if you don't check spellings, it shows that you are not detailed oriented. You are not looking after quality. So basically, you will lose your chance. And everybody now wants quality, and they want image, and they want to make sure that you are to the point. Make sure the subject line, you need to have a subject line. It's like Twitter. You know, Twitter, very short messages telling you, or a news headline. So here are some good subject line examples for your information only. Minutes of meeting from the date of the marketing meeting discussion. Very poor subject line, weekly minutes. Now, why do you need to be specific? What I do, for example, if I want my boss to approve something, so because I work in media, I deal with media, so what I tell them, for example, if I want them to approve anything, so in the subject line, I say, kindly approve Ahram advertising cost XYZ, and then the date of the issue. So once he sees what is the subject line, he knows what's coming in the email. So if it's for information, if it's approval, if it's for action, and so on. Now, you have to make sure you are addressing the people in the right title. And don't say Mrs. No, you have to use Miss. Miss or Mr. Ms. Sorry, I'm trying to write with the Ms. or Mr. And if you don't know, if you're not sure about the title, Google their name, call their office, and find out the right spelling and the right title. You have the greeting, and then you have basically your major points, and then at the end, the call to action as well. What I also try to do is the subject line and the document that I'm attaching both have the same name. So when it comes to if I want to retrieve the messages, it is a lot easier for me if I want to go back to the messages. Again, basically don't write short. For if you want to say you, then you have to write the full word instead of just abbreviation. Don't be friendly with someone that you don't know. Don't use emojis and things. Those are not professional to use in business. You use your email to recap a conversation. For example, if you talk to someone over the phone and you want to summarize what you have agreed on, use an email. Use to send an attachment. Use to basically schedule a meeting and so on. Don't use emails to discipline, criticize, or give bad news. If you are angry, like sometimes you get an offensive emails, and then don't run into that mistake of the email came, so many people are copied, it touched your ego, and then you want to reply. No, what I do is if I get an offensive email, I get a piece of paper, I vent in this piece of paper, I write what is frustrating me about this email. So I get my emotion out in a piece of paper. Or if I don't have this piece of paper, I open a note from mobile, and then I write down whatever I feel to. So this way, I'm getting all the negative emotions out. You know that our brain we have the right brain that is responsible for the emotions, the creativity, the music, the art, and so on. We have the left side of the brain, which is responsible for the logic, the analysis, and numbers, and so on. So when you receive an email and this email is offensive, so your right side of the brain starts to dominate. But is this professional? If somebody send me an offensive email, I just use my emotion to deal with it and start to trigger a fight? No, this is not what you want to do. So that, okay, but in a piece of paper that is not there, and then start to bring that email up and see what you want the other person to do. So what I normally do is I write a professional email, focus on what is it I want to do, and then later on I pick up the phone and I talk to the person. If the person insists on that particular behavior, I talk to their managers. And if the thing is not fixed, then I see the company escalation process, whether it's the HR or the CEO and so on. Don't send humor, don't send jokes, 200, 300 emails, don't write capitals, because it is shouting. This is an example of an email. They are waving to me because of the time. We're almost done. Now, social media. Social media is very important. And basically, yes, it's called social, which means personal. However, nowadays, there is a very fine line between what you post on social media and your company. Your name is associated with where you work and so on. For example, if I've done something good, what happens is they will say, Nour at the American University in Cairo, she did something really good. So my name is associated with where I work. What happened, God forbid, I did something wrong. What happened in the newspaper next day or on the social media, say, Nour, who works in this bank, she did something bad. So unfortunately, whether we like it or not, it's your name is associated with where you work. So what you need to do is utilize social media to work positively for you, to generate additional clients, to give that branding image that you are an expert in your industry or in your area. This does not mean that you pretend that you're somebody else. No, what you should do is capitalize on your expertise and ensure that you are presenting yourself, branding yourself in a way that everybody around you recognize who you are really, your true qualities and so on. So check your social media policy at work. Think about, does it hurt my company reputation? Am I allowed to post those photos, or those photos are internal? Now, would my boss be happy if he sees this post? Am I being fair and accurate? Am I being respectful? Don't share anything that you don't have the source for. If you have a credible source as well, an article from a newspaper or a quote from somebody that you verified on the internet and so on. So basically, you need to ensure that utilizing, especially for us as professionals, LinkedIn is one of the amazing tools that you can generate business, get to know experts. You are in a leadership position and you want to have this vision and you want to have basically a wider scope. You do that, you interact with people in your same profession, and then you get also a perspective on things from other industries as well. Dining etiquette, this is the second video that we will upload. It will show you how you basically do the setting, how you use the napkins, how you use the silverware and everything. Here is an example of the 3-course meal. So if you are confused what to do, you start from the outside inside. You start from the outside inside. So for example, this is a 3-course meal which has salad, it has main course and dessert. Now, as you can see here, from the outside to the inside, use I will show you here in the presentation. Here is the salad knife, and here is the salad fork. Once you're done, basically go for the next one. As you can see here is the butter. Don't spread the butter all over your bread. Just take a small piece of bread and spread over the butter and so on. Here normally the water, a glass, which is closer to the left side as well. This is the 3-course meal. This is the 5-course meal. As you can see here, this is a 5-course that has soup, fish hors d'oeuvre. They have main course, they have salad, and they have dessert. Again, basically start from the outside inwards. And here you can see the napkin, and you can have the name tags, and then the menu. The name tags has to have the name from both sides, because if I'm seeing if I'm looking where should I sit, it's not easy. If you go in a restaurant, please don't move things around. It's not your job. Once you finish, you have the fork and knife in a resting position, and basically the waiter will know that you finished and it's time for the next one. Don't bring up subject in when you have dinner with a client or a networking event. Don't bring subject like illness and so on. Don't take medicine while you are on the table. If your food came, it has something wrong with it, discreetly ask for the waiter to come and replace it for you. Don't try to reach for something that is very far. Ask the neighbors to pass it to you, and so on. So you have a lot more to see in the video on the dining etiquette. Here, if you have to host, if you're hosting, the most important person sit into your right side. Now, if you have here, if you have more than one person, the most important person sits on your right side, then the next most important person on the left side, and so on, and the co-host can sit on the other end of the table as well. You will have this presentation and you will have all the links. So basically, those are my social media. I'm very active on LinkedIn because I get a lot of opportunities, media interviews, more business in giving lectures. I also do a lot of promotion for my banks and my bank and so on. So please utilize social media to basically work for you. Now they're telling me it's time for the group photo. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready for the group photo? We'll do the stop share.
Please, participants, if you want to take the photo, please raise your hands. S'il vous plaît, si vous voulez prendre le photo, oui, merci.
Wow, amazing women. I'm very happy to meet you. We'll meet again, inshallah, very soon.
واو يلا قول لهم حاجه نور عشان كده امين.
وانا بس اوكي.
Okay. One. Please open your screen. One.
Beautiful posture and smile.
And then we will please adjust your video down here.
African women.
Agnes, yes, Agnes, please, thank you. And we will take another photo with the remaining 4 people who wants to get an e-photo. So we will take 2. This is the first one. Jermaine, please have a look to us. Jermaine. Yes, 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, 3.
I will promote our colleagues.
Wow.
We'll take Christine.
Wow.
Bio, doctor. Who else? And last one. Yes, another photo. Everybody's there. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Shukran. Bravo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shukran.
So we will have a break right now and we will resume our session about health. We do have 3 great health experts from South Africa and Egypt. They are going to join for the next session. So we are going to start 5 p.m. sharp. So 40 minutes from now, right?
5 p.m. or
5 p.m.
quarter to 5?
No, 5 p.m. sharp.
Alors, on va commencer la prochaine séance à 5 heures. Merci à toutes. tout de suite. Au revoir.